You're listening to Civic Media. You can tune into any of our live shows on any radio station across the state with the Civic Media app. Find us in your phone's app store and listen anytime, anywhere. This is your WCFW Daily News Roundup for 105.7 CFW in Chippewa Falls and 93.5 The Tap in Eau Claire.
For WCFW News, I'm James Kelly. An Altoona man has been charged after allegedly crashing his car into an electrical pole and fleeing authorities. According to court documents, 45-year-old Cornelius Connor is facing a variety of charges, including recklessly endangering safety, operating while intoxicated, and carrying a concealed knife. The incident allegedly began when officers spotted his vehicle while he had an active warrant out for his arrest. After authorities attempted to pull him over, Connor fled and later crashed into the electrical pole on Bartlett Avenue and 3rd Street East. The city of Prescott voted to approve over $1.5 million in borrowing after bids for the Riverfront project came in lower than expected. The city is planning to replace the remaining streetlights during Phase 2 of the Riverfront project, with the total cost of materials and installation coming in at around $105,000. Additionally, officials say the city has received an AA3 rating from Moody's Investment Services, which led to receiving more competitive bids for the project and lowering the interest rate on financing. The Rice Lake City Council plans to rezone the National Guard Armory building property as they consider purchasing the site. The Wisconsin Department of Military Affairs is selling the building and offered the city and Barron County the right of first refusal. The property has been appraised at $550,000, and city officials are seeking potential partners for development or even holding a referendum vote to let residents decide if they should purchase it. The city council wants to rezone the property for commercial purposes. Proposed legislation in the Wisconsin State Assembly would require revocation for people who violate the terms of their correctional supervision. Currently, justice-involved individuals who violate the terms of their parole, probation, or extended supervision could be recommended for a revocation hearing by their caseworkers. If the legislation becomes law, parole officers would be mandated to recommend a revocation if the individual is charged with a new offense. Opponents say there's already too many people being revoked for technical reasons. The Wisconsin Department of Health Services is reminding families and teachers to keep an eye on the mental health of their kids and students as they return from spring break. According to health officials, self-harm incidents with kids between the ages of 10 and 19 tend to increase following a return from a long school break or during transition periods. They're reminding families and teachers to look out for signs that kids and students may be struggling with their mental health. They're also reminding residents about the 988 Mental Health Crisis Hotline. A recent report found Wisconsin's roadways ranked 26th in overall road cost effectiveness and condition this year. According to the annual highway report from the Reason Foundation, the state jumped 7 spots in the rankings, which cover road and bridge safety, pavement quality, and cost effectiveness. Among the individual categories ranked, Wisconsin finished 7th in rural fatalities and 10th in urban and other fatalities. The state's worst category was urban arterial pavement condition, where it ranked 44th in the country. The Altoona Police Department says they saw a slight drop in the total number of calls they responded to in 2024, but saw an increase in traffic enforcement. According to department data, officers responded to about 30 fewer calls in total compared to 2023. They also conducted more traffic stops, issued more warnings and citations, and conducted 10 vehicle pursuits compared to just 2 in 2023. Officials say they're looking to expand their traffic enforcement infrastructure with things like license plate readers to cut down on pursuits. Dunn County District Attorney Andrea Nodoff says she does not plan on voluntarily recusing herself from a fatal drunk driving case that resulted in the death of a Dunn County correctional officer. 41-year-old Mark Sokolowski of Eau Claire is charged with homicide by intoxicated use of a vehicle in relation to the December 24th crash that killed Officer Jeff Reynolds. His defense attorney has filed a motion to force Nodoff off the case. The case is being heard by an Eau Claire judge after Dunn County Judge Luke Wagner did recuse himself. A proposed bill in the Wisconsin state legislature would increase the penalties for people convicted of property theft in multiple cases. The legislation proposed by Republican lawmakers would allow multiple property theft crimes committed within a 6-month period to be combined as one crime. That means individual crimes where the value of the stolen property would only classify as a misdemeanor could be combined to upgrade to a felony charge. The bill would also allow prosecutors to file felony charges against suspects with prior misdemeanor convictions. The Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources will begin selling bonus harvest authorizations for the 2025 spring turkey hunting season on Monday. According to a press release, the leftover permits can be purchased through the Go Wild license portal or in person with a licensed sales agent starting at 10 a.m. and running through midnight each day. To purchase them online, hunters will now need a Go Wild username and password, and officials are advising interested hunters to set their account information up as soon as possible. For WCFW News, I'm James Kelly.
The Bucks get rolled by the Thunder. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. The Bucks fell behind early and lost to one of the top teams in the NBA, the Thunder. The final score 121-105. How did the Thunder control the game? Doc Rivers.
They were so much more physical. They definitely came in with intentions tonight and played that way. They played great tonight.
Men's college basketball, the Badgers drew the number 3 seed. They open the NCAA tournament this Thursday in Denver at the Ball Arena, home of the Denver Nuggets. They'll play the number 14 seed Montana Grizzlies. Marquette is going to the dance again, headed to Cleveland to face New Mexico Friday night.
Excited to be here, happy to be here, and just, excited to see our name called, because it's not particularly common for a school or player or a group of guys to go to the tournament for 4 years. We've actually did the percentage research, and it's the chance of going to the tournament 4 straight years is 0.1%.
That's Marquette guard Stevie Mitchell with Sports on Mike Clemens.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Pete Schwaba. A new documentary says we are not alone. The Age of Disclosure premiered at the South by Southwest Film Festival in early March and claims aliens are real and that the government has covered up their existence for the last 80 years. The doc claims non-human biological matter has been collected from spacecraft crash sites. Director Dan Farah interviewed 34 government officials who confirmed some type of extraterrestrial life, but the film does not offer a whole lot of actual proof other than talking heads. No confirmation as to whether or not people have actually been probed. As promised, I said I would report back when I finished the show 0 Day on Netflix. The 6-parter starring Robert De Niro and Joan Allen explores what happens after a massive grid outage that kills over 3,000 Americans. 0 Day has some great moments, but ties everything up a little too neatly at the end. Having said that, De Niro is great. You've heard of Ted Lasso, the Apple TV show that premiered during the COVID-19 pandemic. It came at the right time and seemed to make people warm and fuzzy all over and give them much-needed laughs. We could use more of that now, and according to Variety, the show is coming back for a 4th season. Ted will be portrayed by Christopher Walken. Just kidding, even though I think that would be hilarious. Jason Sudeikis returns to the show that garnered 66 Emmy nominations and 13 wins. The exact release date has not yet been mentioned. SNL 50 happened weeks ago, but Variety is reporting that Bill Murray got very emotional during the festivities. The actor appeared on the Sway Calloway show and admitted to crying 3 times throughout the broadcast, especially losing it when a clip of the late Gilda Radner appeared, saying he loved Gilda and absolutely came apart when he saw her on screen. You may have thought Friday was freaky 22 years ago, but it just got freakier. Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan are back as Tess and Anna Coleman, the mother-daughter duo, who, despite not having a great relationship, are forced to live each other's lives after a body-swapping incident. Wow, that's a rough sitch, even if you like each other. In the sequel, it happens again, dagnammit. Deadline reports that Jamie Lee Curtis will also serve as a producer and Lindsay Lohan as executive producer on the sequel, which will be called Freakier Friday. Wonder how many spitballing sessions that took. If you're excited about the Oasis reunion tour but can't make it or don't want to pay the money to see them live, you will have the option of a concert film. The tour starts July 4th this coming summer and runs through November. There are no details yet as to whether the film will be just the concert itself or have some kind of narrative, but there will be egos. For more showbiz fun, tune into Nightlight with me, Pete Schwaba, weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Mostly sunny and warmer today. We'll get to around 60 for a high this afternoon, and it will be a little breezy this morning, but the wind will die down this afternoon. Tonight, partly cloudy, 33. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, 57, with rain and a little snow possible by tomorrow night. I'm meteorologist Sean Cable. Outside now, it's 35.
That's your WCFW and the TAP Daily News Roundup from Civic Media. Subscribe to this podcast on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you find your podcasts. Find more news at WCFW.FM or thetap.fm. The national news cycle never stops, but it can be hard to find news about your local community. Civic Media is dedicated to providing quality local and state news coverage across Wisconsin. With the Civic Media app, you can get notifications about local stories that matter to you and your community. Find the free Civic Media app in your phone's app store and choose notifications from the menu to tell us what kind of news you want to hear about.